Hi everyone, hi, this is Christine Crow here, and I am going to be going through with you um, how to create your Slack channel, but also how to also integrate it with your Asana if you're using Asana. And I use Asana, and I also use Slack, for example, but this is for demonstration purposes. So you can do a free account on Slack where you're not paying anything. You can try it out first. So I'm just going to share the links as well so that you're able to see for yourself with regards to opening up your Slack. So you go to Slack and then you create your account, and then it will ask you what email that you want to use your Slack channel for and whether you want to invite team members. So for example, if you've got a domain name for your email, it will then say, do you want to invite the rest of your team, for example. But for this purposes, I haven't done that because this is for a demo, for example. And then what you need to also think about is if you're doing Asana, which I would recommend that you do Asana as well as Slack. There's two types of Slack. There's Slack workflow, and then there's the usual Slack, for example, AI, which I'm using in this presentation, for example. So the next thing that I'm doing now is that I'm gonna show you the Asana, for example. So this is the Asana, and I can integrate it with Slack. Okay, so Asana will have like products, for example, like you sign in, but you can also access this board here, like what I've got, for example. But I'm already here, but I'm also looking at Microsoft Power Automate as well, because this will create the workflows, and that is for another training for another day. But I just want to show you some of the tools that Asana has, for example. Okay, so if you want, you can also, once you've signed up for the various things, you can also create workflows with your Power tools as well. Okay, and it will do documentation. It does a lot of things, so you have to go through each one slowly and individually so that you get used to looking at it. Read the videos, for example, and this is where you've got like the power apps that you can add as well, and you can then start to create your power app, and then it can automate things for you. I'm going into this slowly because I don't want to just sort of throw everything at you. I just want to be able to discuss this with you slowly. So these are some of the platforms that you can have as well with your Slack and your Microsoft as well as your Asana. So with the Slack, for example, I've created like my name. I've also said automation, for example, and then there's channels that you can create to communicate with your team members, for example. If you've got like workflow to do, then you can put, like I've got here for the UK, CQC applications, for example, and then you can put that in here, but you can also put your checklist, which I'm going to go through that in a separate video, because obviously, like I said, I want to be able to show you different things as well. You can create free trials as well. You don't have to jump straight away into a paid version, for example. But Asana has a lot of products, a lot of apps that you can actually use. They've got different prices as well, and this is just for demonstration purposes, but this is something that I'm going to be looking at doing for another day, for example. But it's got different products. You can browse the different apps that it also has, for example, on the Asana. So it's got these apps here. So it's got Microsoft Teams. It's got Microsoft Teams is where you can connect your Microsoft Teams for conversations. You can have collaboration with your team members when you're working on a specific project, for example. And you just click learn more if you want to know more. But if you've got Microsoft 365, for example, then you will have that there. But if you're looking at doing projects, then you've got Asana, and then you want to add these in to your Asana board. Now there's also Spluck as well, but this is one thing that I like as well, Salesforce plus Asana, because it can handle all of your sales and your projects. It does, you can just basically add these tools and it will do a lot for you as well. There's Adobe as well for adding here as well. There's Asana for Android, for mobile apps, for example. And there's the reporting, which is what I said, the table AU, for example. There's Google Drive as well, where you can hold your files. It can hold a lot of files, for example. And then there's ServiceNow, which is IT and development. There's the Vimeo, there's Locker, there's Figma is a good one as well. Figma, this is where you can create your next steps, for example, for your Asana widget, for example. There's also Canva, which you can do for marketing purposes as well for your organization, for example, or for clients that you're doing work on, for example. So you can integrate this into your Asana as well. There's also, which is the Gantt chart. So this is like for when you're looking at productivity, like if you're delivering a service or you've applied for a contract, for example, with an organization like a government contract or a very large contract, then you would use this as your deliverables, and then you would put the time frames in, and you're working with a government contract, so you would then be able to ensure that the work is being done, for example, and that the deliverables are being achieved. And then you can then also use this as your app, for example, to work with your Asana as well. There's quite a lot of things here for you to have a look at. There's OneDrive, where you can have your items there as well, your documents, so it's not taking up too much space, for example, on your computer, for example, or your staff member's computer, for example. There's such a lot here that you can use for from Asana, for example. There's Soho Connect, that is a good one as well, for it creates collaboration with your team spaces. With Soho, connects your users as well, and you can chat amongst each other as well and share ideas, manage work plans, and also deploy customized apps and much more. So you can have a look around, go onto Asana, create an account and have a look around. And then what you can also do is look at these different apps. You can also clock. This is good for finance, HR, time tracking, so you know when staff are working on projects, because you don't want staff not working on projects. It really does help. And this is such a good thing. You just click it, for example, to learn more, and then it will give you the information. You can say get Ever Hour with Asana, for example, And it will then, the team that's on here, when they're working on projects, you're all in the same place and you know when people are working. So this is a really good tool to have for when you've got your remote teams, for example. So I'm just going to go back again. So then there's so much here. There's another one I'm trying to look at for you. Easy Tasker, that's a good one as well, marketing. And there's Dropbox as well, you put your items from, and there, which is what we also use. There's Power BI as well, which is really good. And there is Trello, which is very good as well. You can do private notes. There's so much here. There really is. Azure as well, developer apps as well for developers really, but also without writing a code. So this is something that you can create yourself without creating the code. You don't have to be a coder. This is a no-code tool, Azure developer app, for example. So if I click that, you can see the items there, and then I can do install, for example. But I'm going to go back to the apps because today is just about me showing you about Asana and also Slack and what it can do. There's Figma, which is good. Canva, like I said. Let's have a look here. So just have a look, play around. Trello, as I said, there's Dashworks, Dovetail, PM People as well, about productivity, Velocity, Azure, like I said, for no code, Envision, YouTube. You can put YouTube videos in here, and they can communicate with one another as well. You can leverage this. I'll just click this, for example, and then you just have to install it on Asana, and then you can then look at, you can even, there's a thing where you can actually clone yourself and it will do the video for you. You just provide the content, which is really good. I haven't got to that stage yet because I like to be live because that's my choice. There's Microsoft Power, like I said. There's One Login as well, which is very good. Soho Desk, Fresh Desk, Save My Leads. You know, there's a way to get payments, Zero, Stripe, for example. So you can just do your invoicing, everything can happen, and it just goes from one place, and they all communicate with one another, and you're then streamlining your company, being more effective without this, you know, doing things the old-fashioned way. So I hope that that was helpful for you, just opening up the Asana. Have a look at some of the tools. See, they've got Slack workflows as well. MailChimp for email campaigns, for example. There's so much here. There really is. And it just goes on, for example. But it's so beneficial to you as a small business owner, as well as a medium and a large company owner. And I like Asana. I've been using Asana for, I would say, probably about 12 years, something like that. So, you know, it's been around a while, but it's changed as well. So it's more modern as well. So there's Soho Desk, SharePoint, so you can share files. There's so much that you can get here that you've got already in Microsoft. You can just pull them into one place rather than jumping from here to there. So this does time tracking as well, like timesheets, which is T-sheets, for example. Zendesk is very good. Google Docs, as we all, majority of us know. There's also Pulse for reporting, Artwork, Flow, Asana, Support Bee. You can sync it to your calendar as well. Email communication, so it says here you can turn your emails into tasks, create tasks from emails, assign owners, and it just sends things off and you're not having to stress or miss something. It will come in. HubSpot is very good for workflows as well. Very, very good. There's Hubstaff as well. And with HubSpot, it does, count hours that staff members are working. So you know what hours the remote teams are working, for example. There's just so much here. As you can see, there's Microsoft Office 365, you connect it. There's your Slack communication, Better Cloud, Gmail, Google Calendar, as well, Google Chat, Power BI, Google Workspace as well, Zapier, which you connect with Asana, which I'm going to go through these tools with you so that I can show you them in real time. But if you've got Asana, wonderful. If you haven't, I would suggest that you get it so that you can look at these tools and start practicing with it as well. There's Outlook here as well, so you can communicate. It's all in one place rather than you jumping off and then you going here and there and there and there, all in one place. You can't beat this. It's so amazing. Okay, so check it out. There's Google Sheets as well. Time Doctor is very good as well to clock time of your staff. There's Asana, CSV, Importer, for example, and there's just so much here. Look, I could go on and on and on. There's just a lot. Notion is very good as well. Very good to get it installed as well for productivity, and it helps you as well keep on track. There's lots of different ones here, but I'm going to go through each one step by step with you so that you get to know what these are. And Jotform is good as well, so that you can look. There's HubSpot client by project as well. There's so many things here that you can choose what feels good to you, for example. So get used to it, even if you're not wanting to implement it for yourself. If you want us, for example, to do an AI automation for you, then we would look at things like this to help you in your business, set it up for you so that you've got this going for your company, and it will alleviate the paperwork and the time, and the stress will be less, for example. So there's so much here, as you can see. HubSpot, there's so many things here. Okay, so I hope that you've gonna open up your account with Asana, for example. There's Zoom as well. You can have a Zoom meeting. There's so many things you can do here on Asana itself. And like I said, it integrates with the Slack as well. Okay, so that way you can work with your team members, but also you're working on clients' projects as well. So let me know what you think regarding your business. What do you think would be suitable for you? Asana, yes, but what tools? So have a look at the apps, go to that section, and I'm just going to show you the section here, for example. So you've got your Asana, so you go to the section where it says apps, okay, and that's what you want to do. See, there's so many things here. in Asana, but it's the apps that you want to look at as well. And check out the pricing as well, of course. All right, so I hope that you've enjoyed the quick tutorial about Asana, introduction to Asana, and the tools and the apps that are accessible here in Asana. And this is a good frame for you to use in your business so that you can get work done and your team can get work done, but also the AI can also get the work done for you as well. So if you've enjoyed this video, do like and subscribe. Book a free 15-minute, 30-minute appointment with me, and I will talk to you more about your AI tools that you could use in your organization, and let us do a free AI audit with you to look at where you're struggling, and we can then recommend some tools for you. And if you want us to implement it for you, then we can certainly do that. So I'll put the link here. There'll also be the video for you to watch the playlist for AI tools and things like that. Do watch the playlist, but also book a free 15-minute appointment with me, and I will gladly speak with you further regarding that as well. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you. Take care. Bye.